still remember it was July of 2006 and I just passed out from my board exam in April, May. And for 2 to 3 months, I was just playing cricket, I was just playing video games, I was just totally relaxed, didn't study anything at all for my 11th standard. And suddenly, in July 2006, someone said, "Hey, many of your relatives are doctors, so why don't you become one?" My own brother, my own sibling is a doctor. So they said, "Hey, you should also become a doctor." I said, "Okay." I said, "Fine." So I went to this center, and that was the end of my childhood. Right at that moment, my childhood ended at the age of 14, 15. From that day onwards, I spent 8 to 10 hours a day, non-stop, with hardly any breaks whatsoever for 1 year, 10 months, almost 2 years in a row. From July of 2006, when I just passed out my 10th standard, to May of 2008, and it culminated with me giving the AIMS medical exam on 1st June 2008. I spent 2 years of my life, 10 hours a day. I will not say I hated studies, but I didn't like them very much either. But it just came more naturally to me than to most other students. But I had to still like sacrifice everything I loved about. I used to love playing video games, Age of Empire, Counter Strike. I used to love playing cricket outdoors, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. I had to sacrifice everything. And then I got into AIMS New Delhi. So 2 years of my life I gave it to that, and people said, "Now sir, your life is set, congratulations, and now you can either do a post graduation in medicine, or you can do USMLE, you can go to US, you can do your residency over there, you can make $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, who knows, just you have to give like 10, you just have to crack the exam." Frankly speaking, cracking exams is not very difficult for me, but still it's not that difficult for many other people also, but they get stuck in their ways. They realize that life is set. But I said, "Hey, do I really want to spend next 10 12 years in studying and then like see patients for the rest of my life? Is that really what I want to do?" So I said no. I realized it, and then at the age of 19 20, I decided that I will not be pursuing a career in medicine. Just 1 or 2 years into the college, I decided, hey, medicine is not for me. That was the first biggest risk I've ever taken in my life, that I left a well set out, well paying job with no recession, where it's guaranteed that I will always be employed, and that too passing out from an institution like AIMS, it's virtually a guarantee that you're going to make a good money. And on top of it, I know that it's very easy for me to crack the exams, like it's post graduation exam or USMLE. It's very easy. That was the first risk I took when I started preparing for UPSC civil service examination. The second risk, and that is even crazier, because I spent 2 to 3 years of my life preparing for UPSC civil service examination. I used to study from like in AIMS, it was there, my college was there from 8 to 4, then studying for civil services for 6 to 8 hours a day, non-stop for again 2 to 3 years. And fortunately, with God's grace, I again cracked that exam also at 22. And my parents were extremely elated, they were extremely happy. I still remember I went to my village at in Kotputli in Rajasthan, and they all of them like took me on their shoulders, and there was a DJ and everyone was dancing and laughing. It was like I was getting married or something. They were so happy, even more happier rather. And my parents thought now I am the most eligible bachelor ever, and like I'm a doctor and I'm an IS officer, and everything is all set and all ready. And this was June 2014. 12th June 2014, the results came out. The very next day, I like called up Gaurav, and within 2 to 3 weeks, I was working on an academy with Gaurav, preparing content for UPSC civil service examination, because I thought, hey, I will not waste next 2 to 3 months of my life. Let me do something productive. And then an academy picked up, and I started making 1 or 2 videos a day, and then 2 videos every week, even despite going a rigorous training at Lavasna, So that training used to start at 6 a.m. in the morning and continue till 5 p.m. in the night, and after 5 p.m. in the evening, and after 5-6 p.m. after eating something, I used to work on an academy for 2 to 6 hours a day, and I had made sure that I created 2 videos every single week. Now, despite going all this, and I was just 22, 23 years old when I became an IS officer. I was guaranteed a government job for 37 years. I would have most probably ended up becoming a district collector in 6 to 7 years, and that could have lasted for 8 years. Then I would have definitely become a secretary to the government of India. And the highest post which an IS officer can achieve is cabinet secretary. There is a very, very good chance that I would have gotten there because I went in early in IS. So I had to fight a lot with my parents and family to leave it. Obviously, Gaurav helped me a lot in there. A lot of senior IS officer called me. First, they tried to tell me the perks of being an IS, that there are only 5,000 of them at one point of time in India. They warned me that I would fail. They tried every which way. They said that even you can take a 2-year leave without pay, and you can just continue doing what you're doing on the sides. But I said, hey, I want to do this full time. I think this is my calling, and for the last 6 years almost now, I have been working incessantly on an academy, and this was the second risk I took. I left all of them in a heartbeat. I didn't think about it at all. So this is the lesson which I want to say. And today An Academy is a great organization with thousands of educators in 40 plus exam categories. At An Academy also we have taken a lot of risks. We shut down our test prep product earlier. Then we said that the current models in which other companies are operating, where they hire 5-10 great educators, we said no, we will keep our educators in hundreds or now even in thousands. Then earlier the educators were in house. They used to teach from the office of the organization, but we said, hey, educators will teach from their home because the best educators will not be willing to relocate. So we took a lot of bold bets. We took a lot of risks. We went all in. Obviously, all of them were calculated risks. But the point which I'm trying to emphasize here is that without taking adequate risks in life, you will not be able to gain the adequate reward. Obviously, this is a very big cliche that bigger the risk, higher the reward. Most people, you should start with taking small risks. So that's what I would suggest. A lot of people are very hesitant to take that big step, one single step which will change everything for them. I would not suggest that you go through that first. I would say start small. Like let's say if you are working somewhere for 9 to 5 and you want to start your own side hustle, give 3-4 hours, sacrifice your personal time, sacrifice your outings, etc. Start doing that, then gradually move on to that, and then eventually you can leave your job and you can do your startup. And maybe let's say you can take some friends and family around, you can raise some few lakhs, or you can go to angels and raise a few crores. Take smaller risks to begin with, try to venture out on it, see how deep you can go, and then go all in once you realize. So start with smaller risks, then you can go out and start your own venture full-fledgedly. Whichever domain you are, it will be very, very difficult. See, most people don't take any risks in life at all. If I was like 80 to 90% doctors stay doctors in their entire life, right? So if I was a normal doctor, I would be doing my post graduation right now in a neurosurgeon. That's what I wanted to become when I was 16, when I was giving the AIMS exam. So I would be in like 5th, 6th year of my neurosurgery right now, and I would be cutting people's skull for the rest of my life. But that's not what I wanted to do when I get into AIMS. And then I took some risks, and here I am co-founding an academy and making it into a great organization, the leading edtech platform in the world. So that is the ultimate aim, that we will reach there in a few years. So the point which I'm trying to say is take risks, be bold, start with small risks to begin with, then gradually take it up. See, every day try to increase your risk appetite. Do take bets here and there, like do things which are outside your comfort zone, and very soon you will realize you will be able to calibrate that risk reward ratio in your head. And most of the time it might not go your way, but even if one risk pays off, it will take care of the other 9-10 risks which you have taken. So that is the beauty of this. Even if one high risk high reward pays off, so that takes care of your entire life. Your entire life will look like a footnote in the career. So that is my advice. Take risks, be bold. So we made it to the end of the chapter 3. Now we are about to start chapter number 4, garbage in, garbage out. One of the most interesting chapters of this Graphy. Stay tuned.